Newspapers, publishers of the Greenwich Post, New Canaan Advertiser, the Darien Times, the Ridgefield Press, the Weston Forum, the Wilton Bulletin, the Reading Pilot, the Lewisboro Ledger, the Monroe Courier, the Eastern Courier, the Trumbull Times, Fairfield Sun, Shelton Herald, the Stratford Star, the Milford Mirror, and the Valley Gazette.
Hersom Acorn and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
This is your coffee break on HANradio.com.
It's Friday, May 1st, and this is your coffee break presented by Stratford Orthodontics, live on HANradio.com and streaming on the Hersom Acorn Network. I'm Kate Chaplinsky in the Shelton studio with John Kovach and Donald Ang. Guys, good Friday to you. Happy Friday, good Friday.
It's May Day.
It's May Day.
We made it to May. We made it to the end of the week. And we're just starting a long stretch of broadcasting.
Yep. And we have AJ, Rob, and Josh hanging out with us, helping out behind the scenes. We have a lot of news today in southwestern Connecticut. A few of the headlines include a corrections officer awaiting trial for a fatal hit and run, now behind bars after a second arrest. Also, shock in Weston after a vote Thursday night, and a bear getting close to a home in Shelton. We love a good bear story here.
We love the wild animal stories. and people do, too. We'll
Perhaps
talk
not in the suburbs, but you know.
Well, you get more of those stories.
Well, we're also going to have a look at high school sports, all the latest there. But, Don, what's happening on the roads right now?
Not a lot right now, actually. We have roadwork in Bridgeport, I-95 north at exit 27A. That's the Route 8 and 25 connector. That's got a lane closed until about 3 o'clock. Other than that, we also just have roadwork in Danbury, 84 west at exit 7 until 3 o'clock today. The left lane closed there. And the weather, pretty much steady weather expected for today and the weekend. Chance of sprinkles after noon today, mostly cloudy with a high right around 60. Mostly cloudy tonight, 41. Saturday, Sunday, pretty much the same forecast. Mostly sunny, slight chance of a shower here or there afternoon on both days, and highs in the upper 60s. So it should be a very, very nice weekend coming. Coffee break time, 11:04.
John, what's the latest?
Thanks, Kate. A former state corrections officer already awaiting trial in the hit and run that killed a local woman and left her young son injured was taken into custody Thursday morning after a judge increased her bond. The Connecticut Post reports that judicial marshals handcuffed Patricia Daniels, 42 years old, who for 17 years worked for the state corrections department, and led her out of a Main Street courtroom after State Superior Court Judge Robert Devlin increased her bond to $200,000 from $150,000 as a result of Daniels' recent arrest for allegedly beating a young girl with a belt. The judge called it disturbing that both cases have very troubling aspects to them, unexpected violence. State's Attorney John Smirga stopped short of urging the judge to revoke Daniels' bond, but said it should be substantially increased. He told the judge that the new arrest was troubling because it involved violence against a young child. Prior to her bond being increased, Daniels pleaded not guilty in the new case. 2 counts of risk of injury to a minor and 2 counts of third-degree assault. She asked for a jury trial. Judge Devlin also agreed to appoint a public defender to represent Daniels in the new case after her attorney in the hit-and-run case, Brittany Paz, told the judge Daniels has no money to hire a lawyer for the case. Paz told the Post she expects Daniels to post the increased bond. Daniels, a resident of Palisade Avenue in Bridgeport, refers to herself on Facebook as the Prophetess. She is charged in the December 4th crash that killed Evelyn Aguirre and injured her 11-year-old son on Boston Avenue. According to the State Department of Corrections, she was fired from her job March 20th. She was then arrested after, during a sleepover, she allegedly whipped a girl with a belt.
Right, that was sleeping over her niece's friend. It was a sleepover.
Yeah.
So bizarre.
And she's shown some erratic behavior also, allegedly, like with the whole apparent fabrication of the whole of wedding plans
Right.
and things like that.
Saying she was stressed
She
because
was
she was
stressed.
planning a wedding. The person she said she was engaged to said they were not in a relationship.
Right. So she didn't. So she didn't do it. But then again, and then she made an excuse and blamed it on a wedding.
Very
Drove
strange.
straight to the hospital after.
And they say some of like the way she's been acting in court as well. Some of the media reports just about her, being very defiant and kind of angry in her court appearances, which is just so strange. I mean, this is just a bizarre and very sad case.
Yes, it is.
It really is.
All right. Well, in other news, a bear that was seen on Thursday morning near a home on Wesley Drive in Shelton. The bear was seen in a backyard very close to a house. The homes on Wesley Drive abut wooded areas in the rear. If you're watching right now on the Hearst and Acorn Network, you can see a photo of just how close it was to the fence of this home. There are other reports of a bear sighting, most likely the same one, spotted on Mill Street near Bridgeport Avenue, which is not that far away from Wesley Drive, but closer to more heavily developed areas. An additional report said a bear was seen near Long Hill Crossroad off Bridgeport Avenue, which is also in the same general vicinity. The location would put the bear close to the Route 8 highway. Teresa Gallagher, Shelton's conservation agent, said bears have been seen before in Shelton. We've also been seeing it a lot in our other towns. She said there's a lot of bears in Connecticut and the population is growing in the state. Most of them are farther upstate, but she said, I think in the future we will have more coming down this way, which we've certainly been seeing.
So a bear invasion.
And we've actually had someone on from the DEP to talk
we
about
did,
how the
some time ago.
reforestation of the state has kind of led these bears to spread out. But Gallagher said people shouldn't be scared. There has been a bear sighting, but should take logical steps to avoid becoming a food source. I'm sorry. I think what you mean is like your home.
Becoming a
think
food
they're
source. Is
referring
that a nice
to
way of saying
items.
eaten by a bear?
They're referring to items, not you, as a food source. So a couple tips she gives: put away bird feeders for the summer, secure the garbage kept outdoors, watch the pet food, and be careful with items in a compost pile that might attract bears, such as melon rinds. Oh, who knew?
Yeah, they do. Any of the fruit that you put out, more
They have a
of
sweet
the
tooth, those
organic stuff.
bears.
They do. They truly do. Have you ever seen one come out of the woods?
No.
I
want to. I mean, as long
It
as
grabs
there's
your
like a fence
attention. I was
between
gonna say,
it and me.
you say that,
Yeah.
but when it happens,
It
it's
grabs
terrifying.
well, it didn't tear, but it grabs your attention.
Yeah, definitely.
So something happened in Weston last night that never happened before.
Question 2. Shall the Board of Education operating budget for fiscal year 2015-2016 as determined by the annual town budget meeting be approved? That's question 2. With no abstentions, the votes yes, 127. Votes no, 132. Question 3.
That the reaction captured by Patty Gay when the Weston school budget failed by just 5 votes. The final vote on the school budget was 132 opposed, 127 yes. The town budget and capital budget both passed by significant margins. The town budget 160 to 98, the capital budget 166 to 92. The proposed 2015-16 school operating budget, which failed, was $48.6 million, a 2.6% increase over the current year. The proposed town operating budget, $12.4 million, a 2.54% increase, passed, as did $1.3 million for the capital budget. The school budget will now have to be reviewed by the Board of Finance and sent back to voters for another vote. First Selectman Gail Weinstein said she was still in shock after the ballot count. Democratic Registrar Laura Smits said everyone was figuring out the next steps. Patty Gay and the Weston Forum are working on getting reaction from school officials. Of the town's 5,828 registered voters, 258 votes were cast, a 4.43% turnout. Oof. 1 vote was cast by a property owner on the grand list, so 259 votes were cast. You can follow this as it unfolds at thewestonforum.com because it's not over yet now.
Wow, Don, that makes Monroe's turnout look great.
I was just thinking that 4%. It's got to be a record of.
I mean, what? Monroe's like what? 600% of that?
Let's see. Monroe's was 27%. So, don't let the face fool you. I'm really not that good at math.
I think it should be noted to you guys is it's held different. It's not a referendum in Weston. It's an actual town meeting where they vote. So people show up and cast their ballots that night. So it's not a 6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
How long is balloting open?
It's a couple hours. It's an old-fashioned.
So it's a meeting. You all go to the meeting and vote.
Old-fashioned New England town meeting, and they vote on each section of the budget. So, Weston's, it's a step back in time.
Yeah, there's something kind of nice about that. Those town meetings, but also
it's democracy at its truest form.
Right.
In a sense.
4.4% of the people took advantage of it.
Yeah, exactly. But that's how it is. Look at Wilton has, I think, their vote this weekend. Their budget
I believe
vote.
they do.
They have to get 20% of the people have to turn out, and I don't remember the last time that's ever happened. So the budget automatically passes unless 20% of the town turns out to vote for it. That's and they hold it on a Saturday.
Right.
So.
Wow.
Well, we're a little late, but it's time to check in with Don for a look at the roads and the weather.
Not too much changing out there right now on the roads. We just have that road work in Danbury, 84 westbound at exit 7 until 3 o'clock today. The left lane is closed. Also, the right lane closed in Bridgeport on I-95 north at exit 27A. That's the Route 8 ramp there. Until 3 o'clock today, the right lane closed. Chance of sprinkles afternoon today, otherwise mostly cloudy with a high near 60. Cloudy tonight, 41. Saturday, Sunday, pretty much the same. Mostly sunny both days. A slight chance of showers, highs in the upper 60s on both days. Right now, it is a mostly cloudy 55 degrees outside our Shelton studio, 50 in Fairfield, 55 in Ridgefield. Your coffee break time is 11:13.
Thanks, Don. We're going to step out, take a break, come back, and take a look back in time and take a look at yesterday's sports scores. You're listening to Coffee Break on HANradio.com, streaming live on the Hersom Acorn Network.
Your child has fallen and broken his arm. You need to see an orthopedist fast. Think Coastal Ortho Express in Norwalk. Don't wait hours in the ER. Save a trip and money by going straight to an orthopedic specialist at Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care in Norwalk. No appointment necessary. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, 203-845-2070. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or call 203-845-2070. Fast.
Spring is finally in the air, and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332, and online at stratfordsmile.com.
Alliance. We are an industry leader in coordinating transportation for large events such as corporate roadshows, conferences, and special events. Our team of experts understands the dynamics and logistics of high-pressure situations and complex arrangements, all within a rapidly changing environment. Since 1999, we have added charter jets, event management, and personal protection to our range of services. Mention this ad for $25 off your next round-trip reservation. Alliance in You. Together, we can achieve the extraordinary. 855-546-6996 or alliancelimo.com.
Hersom Acorn and HANradio.com.
It's 11:17 on your coffee break on HANradio.com. Kate Chaplinsky with John Kovach, Donald Ang, and Josh Fisher, who would like to apologize for an error he'd made before the commercial break.
Yeah, I was sorry. Things have changed in Weston. I talked to Patty Gay, who covered that meeting yesterday. There was referendum voting and the town meeting voting. So people could have voted yesterday from noon to 8, which is kind of odd in itself, too. But anyway, not to criticize the good people of Weston and how they do it. Why not do it from 6 to 8 like a traditional election day? But there was referendum voting, but still only a very low turnout on that. My apologies.
Well, that makes the turnout even more appalling.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
You had 8 hours plus a town meeting to cast your ballot.
But a lot of people like to vote too in the morning before they go.
Right.
That's what type of voter I am.
Most
you vote on your way to work.
Well, I do too. But if that's not an option,
I'm just saying it should be an option.
Well, I understand that. I'm not disagreeing.
Josh
with
has spoken.
You can't see me. Or
no,
the
I
look
can't. 'Cause
on
I'm
my
staring
face,
into
look
a
of
light,
disgust.
and I'm never going to see anything the rest of the day. Kate's going to have to read the rest of the script.
I'm going to turn this show
eyes
back over to you three.
All right,
thanks.
Well,
I'll stop ruining it for you.
I'm going to throw it over to Don for a look back on this day in history.
Yes, this day in history, as always, busy. 1707, England, Wales, and Scotland unite to form Great Britain. Josh Fisher actually showed me a video yesterday explaining the difference between Britain, England, and the UK. It's about 7 minutes long. I still don't really get it.
Is it mind-bogglingly?
It's mind-bogglingly complicated. It's political. It's geographical. It's in some cases it's ethnic. It's everything.
It's super cool though. If you get it,
it really is.
I'm sure it is. I mean,
Google
I would
what's
be
the
fascinated
difference
by it.
between England and Great Britain, and it'll come up.
New England is totally different.
Yes,
a little bit. Depends on whether you're in Weston or not.
That's right.
That's true. 1883, Buffalo Bill has his first Wild West show. The show actually had more than 1,200 performers, would eventually include legends Wild Bill Hickok, Annie Oakley, Sitting Bull, and Will Rogers. 1905, 110 years ago, in New York, radium first used as a cure for cancer. 1941, monumental day in film history, Citizen Kane, starring Orson Welles and directed by Welles, premieres in New York.
Great movie.
A sad day, 1994, three-time Formula One world champion Ayrton Senna, killed in a 190-mile-an-hour crash during the San Marino Grand Prix at Imola. Much like the death of Dale Earnhardt a few years later, it took the death of a legend to get the sanctioning bodies of these racing organizations to take driver safety seriously. Series of rule changes in both sports.
Awful day.
Terrible.
I can still...
And actually two fatal crashes that same weekend.
There were two fatal crashes that weekend at Imola, and there were... I can still visualize the car skidding and basically skipping across the sand trap designed to catch it, hitting the wall, them zooming in and cutting almost immediately, and then I believe it was Bob Varsha breaking the news to Speed Channel that the hospital in Barcelona had confirmed that Ayrton Senna was dead. What an awful day for racing.
It was another 1999, the body of British climber George Mallory found on Mount Everest 75 years after his 1924 disappearance. We'll likely never know whether he reached the summit, but when last seen, he was descending. And finally, 1992, on the third day of riots in his name, we got this immortal question.
I just want to say, can we all get along? Can we get along? Can we stop making it horrible for the older people and the kids?
Famously asking on CNN, why can't we all just get along? With your look back in history, I'm Don Ling.
Thanks, Don. Time for a quick look at the sports. I'll sit in for Rob Adams. FCX softball yesterday, Staples 11, Greenwich 7. Danbury 9-3 over New Canaan. Not a lot of action yesterday. Boys lacrosse yesterday. New Canaan 14-2 over Danbury. Darien turns back Yorktown, New York. Usually a power, 15-3. Trumbull 7-3 over Avon. Staples beats back Fox Lane of New York 7-2. St. Joe's 18-6 over Morgan. Norwalk edges Fairfield Ward 9-8. Girls lacrosse. Ward tops those Norwalk Bears 14-6. Stamford blanks West Hill 14-0. Darien doubles up Greenwich 20-10. Today, baseball. We will be with you at 4 o'clock. Staples at Ridgefield from the multi-named facility in Ridgefield. Just go to the field next to the town hall, and the Ridgefield Playhouse will be there, and try to sort out just what you call it, but it's really a beautiful place to watch a game. Other action today at 4, New Canaan at Danbury, Harding at Trumbull, Norwalk at West Hill, Stamford at Fairfield Ward, Ludlow visits McMahon, Darien travels to Bassick. At 4:15, you have Greenwich visiting St. Joseph, Wilton at Bridgeport Central at 4:30. Softball, 4 o'clock starts. See St. Joe's at Greenwich, Trumbull at Harding, West Hill at Norwalk, Ward at Stamford, McMahon at Ludlow, Bassick at Darien. At 6 o'clock, Central visits Wilton, Ridgefield travels to Staples for a 7 o'clock first pitch. Boys lacrosse today, Trinity Catholic at Ludlow at 5, Bethel at McMahon at 7, and girls lacrosse this afternoon, both 4 o'clock starts, Trumbull at Greenwich, Darien at Staples. Boys lacrosse we will have for you tomorrow. New Canaan at Fairfield Prep, 4 o'clock from that beautiful facility, Rafferty Stadium, on the campus of Fairfield University. Don, have you had a chance to see it yet?
I have not, and unfortunately, on the beautiful field at Rafferty Stadium last night, alma mater Fairfield University lost in the semifinals of the Colonial Athletic Association's lacrosse tournament. So no NCAA trip this year.
Are they in that only for lacrosse?
They're lacrosse only members. They're the MAC for everything else.
Okay. All right, with sports, John Kovach.
Thanks, John. Well, in other news this morning, West Hartford police have charged a husband and wife accused of stabbing each other with a sword during a domestic incident at the West Hartford hookah bar that they own. Police said 47-year-old George Ayub called 911 around 3:15 a.m. on April 22nd to report that his wife, 24-year-old Najee Frehi, had stabbed him at 1001 Arabian Nights Hookah Lounge at 134 Park Road there. Ayub was charged with assault in the first degree of an elderly, blind, disabled, intellectually disabled, or pregnant person, and Frehi was charged with first-degree assault. When police responded to the hookah lounge, it was closed, the door was locked, and Ayub tried to open the door to allow police in, but he couldn't reach it because of his wounds. To get there, police had to break the glass. He was taken to St. Francis Hospital to be treated for stab wounds to his abdomen. Frehi was also injured and was treated for serious injuries to her shoulder and hands, police said. Responding officers also found a large sword at the scene. Ayub is being held on a $1 million bond, and Frehi is being held on a $1,000 bond. Both are due in court this morning. Not clear from the story why he was charged with that additional assault charge. It must be that perhaps she was pregnant.
There's plenty that's not really clear from the story.
There's a lot of questions. That one just raises a ton of questions. I don't really know where to start.
Was it a scimitar?
It doesn't say.
Right, exactly. Was it like a prop that they had in the hookah lounge? I mean,
I'm sure it must have been. I mean, I don't think you go to your hookah lounge with your sword and like a little sword
That's
belt.
the mistake I've been making. That's what I've been doing wrong all this time, is I've been carrying my sword.
I imagine if it's the name of the hookah bar is 1001 Arabian Nights, I feel like they probably have some decorative swords
scimitars.
Well,
yes, it probably is a scimitar.
I understand that, but when you go to medieval times, they don't actually fight with swords. You know, right?
Big point.
Sorry, Josh.
Hate when the illusion gets shattered, don't you?
I know Josh's team Red Knight.
Fake.
Josh's team Red Knight for life.
Hashtag Red Knight.
Why don't we take a look at the roads and the weather and step out and try to regroup a little bit as we deal with Josh's disappointment at learning about medieval knights.
We have something new to report on the roads. Fairfield, we have road work Parkway northbound at exit 42 until 3 o'clock today. The right lane closed there. That in addition to the road work in Danbury, 84 west at exit 7 until 3. The left lane closed there. And finally, 95 north in Bridgeport, the exit 27A ramp to Route 8 until 3 o'clock today. The right lane closed there also. As far as the weather goes, pleasant day today. Chance of sprinkles afternoon, but mostly cloudy, high near 60. Cloudy tonight, 41. Saturday and Sunday, mostly sunny both days with a slight chance of a shower here or there. Highs in the upper 60s both days. Right now, it is a mostly cloudy 55 degrees outside our Shelton studio. 50 in Fairfield, 56 in Ridgefield. Your coffee break time is 11:26.
We're going to step out hear from some sponsors, be back with more news, more sports, more traffic, more weather. You're listening to Coffee Break and watching on the live stream on the Hersom Acorn Network.
It's Lots of Characters, specializing in children's birthday parties with your child's favorite characters. When you want to party hardy, when you need to celebrate, call us, we won't be late. We help create lasting memories for you and your child on their special day. Call us at 203-590-1791 or visit our website at lotsofcharacters.org for more information and to see our party packages. Lots of Characters, 203-590-1791 or online at lotsofcharacters.org.
Located in the heart of picturesque downtown Ridgefield at 13 Governor Street, Colby's is the area's premier retailer for blinds, shades, shutters, and draperies, and is one of the select few Hunter Douglas Gallery dealers. A family-owned and operated company, Colby's experienced staff will work with you in choosing the best treatments for your home or office and offer free measuring and expert installation. Colby's also carries an extensive line of decorative fabrics including Schumacher, Durley, Tebow, and more. Or browse over 400 books in our wallpaper library from famous designers such as Stroheim, Schumacher, Ralph Lauren, Tebow, and York. Take advantage of our Fashion in Motion savings event with savings and rebates on Hunter Douglas shades with PowerRise technology. Colby's of Ridgefield. We are committed to your complete satisfaction. 203-438-8531.
Spring is finally in the air and our favorite season is upon us. The Dock Shop is all geared up with a great selection of fishing tackle, custom fishing rods, and all the latest accessories to replenish your tackle box. The Dock Shop has also just brought out the newest spring fashion apparel from Montauk Tackle, Altered Latitudes, Kaylee Smith, and Margaritaville Apparel. Need some new foul weather gear for those chilly spring mornings? The Dock Shop is loaded up with Grundens and Stormer in a variety of styles and sizes. Ladies, we've got you covered as well with spring apparel and the newest designs of coastal jewelry, bags, and accessories. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, Connecticut. Visit us at dockshop.com.
It's easy to advertise on HANradio.com, reach 263,000 listeners each month with our sports programming and talk programming. Call Marianne Hersom at 203-417-5199.
You're listening to Hersom Acorn Radio.
Welcome back to your coffee break presented by Stratford Orthodontics on HANradio.com, streaming live on the Hersom Acorn Network. John Kovach with Kate Chaplinsky, Donald Eng, behind the scenes, Josh Fisher, AJ Seminowski, Rob Adams. Kate, what else is happening in southwestern Connecticut today?
Well, John, sentencing for Dr. David Lester Johnston, an osteopathic doctor in Ridgefield who in January pled guilty to healthcare fraud, is now scheduled for June 30th, according to Thomas Carson at the United States Attorney's Office for Connecticut. According to court documents and statements made in court, Johnston admitted to scheming to defraud Medicare and several private health insurance companies. The scheme involved submitting claims for osteopathic and physical therapy services that he did not perform and misrepresenting the nature of services that were performed. As part of the resolution of the case, Johnston agreed to enter into a civil settlement with the government and pay $270,000 in federal civil claims. In March 2014, Johnston, operator of Osteopathic Wellness Center at 158 Danbury Road, was charged with 14 counts of healthcare fraud and making false statements relating to healthcare matters stemming from incidents between 2009 and 2012. Sentencing by U.S. District Court Judge Robert Chataghy has been scheduled for April 10th but is now postponed. The matter was investigated by the Inspector General of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. The case was prosecuted by Assistant U.S. Attorneys Christopher Maddei, Heather Cherry, and Richard Mullet. John?
Kate, a study by a consumer finance website has ranked Bridgeport one of the top places to open a new business. The national study ranked the top locations. Bridgeport ranked the third best in the United States. The study examined and analyzed 183 metropolitan areas with 15,000 or more businesses and populations in excess of 250,000 people, considering 6 metrics to assess the top markets to open a business. In each location, the study looked at the average revenue of businesses, the percentage of businesses with paid employees, and the number of businesses per 100 people, all key indicators of success. The findings were that location is one of the most important factors in a business that shapes its customer base, its workforce, its access to capital, and mentorship. The report also concluded that smaller markets pay off. All of the locations on the top 10 of the list are smaller than 1 million people. Oh, wow. Just want to make sure I have that right. Yeah. All of the locations on the top 10 have population bases of less than 1 million people.
Oh, interesting. Thanks, John. Well, New Canaan First Selectman Rob Malazzi and other Fairfield County officials have come out strongly against a part of House Bill 6851, which would create a transit corridor development authority. In its original language, the bill would have given this new state entity control over all land within half a mile of all Metro North transit stations without having to follow local zoning laws. A half mile around the New Canaan Metro North station comprises of almost all of downtown. In its latest form, the proposed 11-member authority, which is part of Governor Malloy's Let's Go CT initiative, would now need to cooperate with local zoning, but retains its control over state-owned land. While the original language of the bill was shot down not long after it was introduced in January, Malazzi expressed outrage that it was even suggested in the first place. He said, "You talk about something that was snuck in under the cover of darkness. That was an absolute blatant attempt to obfuscate. I can't speak today.
Make not
and
clear.
Surprise everyone in the
cloud
state."
The picture.
I know what it means. Thank you, guys. In a letter to the State Finance, Revenue, and Bonding Committee last week, the Western Connecticut Council of Governments, of which Malazzi is a part, states that it actually supports many of the other projects proposed in the bill. The proposed projects include widening I-95 between Stamford and Bridgeport, the widening of I-84 in Danbury, reconfiguration of the Route 7 and Merritt Parkway interchange, and various Metro North improvements. As long as language remains about possible Hartford control around the rails, however, Malazzi said he is against the bill.
That is one that when I saw it just had me scratching my head. You're basically just claiming land. I didn't think
Very
you could
strange,
do that. At least that was my belief. In other news, the Bridgeport Board of Education has agreed to pay $37,000 to the family of a girl who claimed she was the target of bullying at Dunbar School, according to the Connecticut Post. The settlement was reached as the case was about to go to trial in State Superior Court. The family and its lawyer, Matthew Broder, were required to sign a confidentiality agreement as part of the settlement and thus declined to comment to the media. According to the lawsuit filed against the Board of Education, the girl, then 12, transferred at the start of the school year in 2011 from Stratford to Dunbar School. At that point, according to the suit, she was subjected to ongoing harassment, verbal abuse, threats of physical violence, and a pattern of bullying by several other schools. The suit alleges that the principal and assistant principal were repeatedly notified by the girl and her mother. During lunch on October 17, 2011, according to the lawsuit, the girl was sitting at a table in the cafeteria eating lunch when she was attacked by an 8th grade girl who repeatedly struck her, causing dislocation of the girl's right shoulder, among other injuries. At the time, according to the suit, there were no monitors or aides in the cafeteria. The girl suffered permanent injury as a result of the attack that will require ongoing treatment, according to the lawsuit. Coffee break time's 11:37.
Thanks, John. Well, the people who run the Square One Theater in Stratford are doing all they can to find a new home in that town. Even with offers to potentially move the community theater operation to a neighboring community, artistic director Thomas Holohan says he wants to keep entertaining people in the town's borders. The search for a new home became necessary after the company was informed by the Scottish Rite Masons that the theater could no longer host productions at the Stratford Theater at 2422 Main Street. Square One was originally slated to leave this year, but Holohan and general manager Richard Feniger managed to get one more session out of the Stratford Theater this year. So the search is ongoing for a place with about 150 seats and a black box theater style feel. And it is hoped that it will be within Stratford, Holohan said. Square One has received offers from the Bijou Theater in Bridgeport and the Bridgeport Theater Company, as well as an offer from Shelton, but Holohan wants to keep the operation in Stratford since many of the theater's subscribers would prefer to stay local. Holohan and Feniger have talked with the Stratford School Superintendent Janet Robinson about possibly using one of the town's schools. Robinson had a conversation with Square One representatives on Tuesday and has talked about using the Johnson Academy building for future productions. Robinson said Johnson Academy may be best because it has fewer conflicts during the school year than the middle schools or the high schools. Holohan added that they also don't want to take a session off to find a new home, fearing that losing a season would do more harm than good. The final Square One production at Stratford Theater will be The Winslow Boy, and that begins on May 15th.
They do a lot. They get a lot of people. They do a lot with the businesses, particularly the restaurants in downtown Stratford, right by the train station, offering specials, etc. So
yeah, there's always offering good deals. I saw Square One put on in high school. We took a field trip there. They were putting on A Midsummer Night's Dream that took place on another planet. It was a very interesting interpretation, and it was.
I remember that. Actually.
Yeah,
well,
it was good. I was probably one of the only high school kids that was like, "Yes, Shakespeare."
Well, I was working.
Probably everyone else was cracking wise as John.
Well, at the time, the Stratford Star reported it, and the editor of the Stratford Star was one of those people that likes the very proper Shakespearean production, and he railed against it. So, like what do you give Shakespearean characters ray guns and stuff?
It was awesome.
But they've done that. They always do that.
And I think you can do that with Shakespeare's comedies too. I think it lends itself to that. Maybe some of the tragedies you need to stay a little bit more true to the original form. But John, what else is going on?
Kate, with ribbons and lights, music and magic, food and flowing wine. This is a Shakespearean lead.
I love Mac Reed's leads. Yeah,
the Ridgefield Spring Stroll will blossom up and down Main Street Friday night and all day Saturday, bringing a May Day theme to Ridgefield's Village. Downtown Ridgefield's Spring Stroll will be tonight from 5 to 9 and from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturday. To set the festive mood, village lampposts will be decorated with ribbons that recall traditional maypoles and with lights. Friday evening, kids will be given free globe bracelets, Don, to wear as they promenade on village sidewalks. I thought you might want to take your daughter.
Oh, well, I thought I kind of wanted the globe bracelet.
Kate does. Kate can pick one up for you. The addition of Friday evening to the Downtown Ridgefield organization's spring event and the renaming of it as Spring Stroll is meant to echo December's highly successful holiday stroll, which has grown into one of the town's major community events, filling Ridgefield's sidewalks and stores.
Remember when we were Monday at Deborah Ann's on Main Street in Ridgefield? Yeah. She is unveiling that amazing ice cream that we got to taste test, which is key lime with graham cracker in it. And that's going to be just a special that they're doing for the spring stroll. We were talking with her a little bit about it. It's a newer, they do a spring event every year in Ridgefield, but this is the first time it's going to be the spring stroll, and they're going to have Friday evening.
I think I would trade my dog for key lime ice cream.
Yeah. And seriously, there's no greater place to stroll than Main Street in Ridgefield. Well, in Connecticut, I just think it's beautiful.
It's a great stretch there. That New Canaan's, Elm Street, that, there are a number of places. Can I vicariously experience the key lime ice cream? How good was it?
It was very good. It was wonderful. And, Deborah Ann's was great. We had a lot of fun there on Monday. Now, Don, anything changing on the roads?
Yes, Kate. Sorry. Hold on a second. Yeah, we have delays in Darien, 95 northbound at exit 13. That may actually be backed up all the way from Bridgeport. We've also got roadwork in Westport. That's new. Parkway northbound at exit 42. And also more roadwork in Cheshire. I-691 eastbound at exit 3. Lane closed there. That, of course, all in addition to the roadwork we reported earlier, 84 in Danbury and 95 in Bridgeport. Checking the weather again, once again, it's clearing up out there a little bit, at least where we are. Slight chance of sprinkles afternoon today, otherwise mostly cloudy with a high near 60. Cloudy tonight, 41, and Saturday and Sunday, mostly sunny with a slight chance of a shower in the afternoon both days, highs in the upper 60s. It's 11:41. You're listening to Coffee Break presented by Stratford Orthodontics. And we're going to be back in a minute. But first, also, as we head out, we remember the great Ben E. King has passed away today. Rob, play us out.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford. 203-375-8332. And online at stratfordsmile.com.
Did you know that taking dance lessons is a great date night idea? Arthur Murray Grand Ballroom of Greenwich is a fabulous place to learn to dance and meet new people. Located at 6 Lewis Street, our studio is staffed with professional instructors ready to teach you salsa, waltz, rumba, hustle, tango. There's a dance for every season. And we are rated #1 on the Knot.com. We are the wedding dance specialists. Take advantage of our new student offer, only $49. Call 203-769-1800. Visit us online at arthurmurraygreenwich.com.
This year, 3,000 Connecticut women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. HRSA Acorn is a proud sponsor of the Komen Connecticut Race for the Cure. Help make an impact in the local fight against breast cancer by joining us on May 9th in Westport at Sherwood Island. With your help, Komen Connecticut invests in local breast cancer programs, helping local women beat breast cancer. Visit KomenCT.org to register, volunteer, or donate today. We race for Connecticut. Why will you race?
HRSA Acorn and HANradio.com.
It's 11:45 on your coffee break, presented by Stratford Orthodontics. Kate Chaplinsky here with the whole Friday crew, including John Kovach, who's going to give us a little sports update.
I will, but let's just run down the programming. Stay tuned after coffee break. Behind the News, Radio Arts and Leisure. While that's going on, we're going to be heading up to Ridgefield, and we'll have FCAC baseball on HANradio.com and streaming on the HRSA Acorn Network. 4 o'clock first pitch as the Wreckers of Staples travel to Governor's Field, that wonderful facility by Ridgefield Town Hall, to take on the Tigers. Again, 4 o'clock first pitch, 3:50 pregame. HANradio.com, streaming live on the HRSA Acorn Network. Other baseball games today. 4 o'clock first pitches for New Canaan at Danbury, Harding at Trumbull, Norwalk at West Hill, Stamford at Fairfield Ward, Fairfield Ludlow at McMahon, Darien at Bassick. Greenwich takes on St. Joe's in Trumbull at 4:15. Wilton travels to Bridgeport to play Central at 4:30. Softball has St. Joe's at Greenwich at 4. All 4 o'clock starts here, unless you hear otherwise. Trumbull at Harding, West Hill at Norwalk, Ward at Stamford, McMahon at Ludlow, Bassick at Darien. 6 o'clock first pitch for Central at Wilton. 7 o'clock first pitch for Ridgefield at Staples. Boys Lacrosse Trinity at Ludlow at 5. Bethel at McMahon at 7. Girls lacrosse, Trumbull visits Greenwich at 4. At the same time, Darien is in Westport to take on Staples. Yesterday's scores on a light slate. Softball, Staples tops Greenwich 11-7. Danbury 9-3 over New Canaan. Boys lacrosse, New Canaan turns back Danbury 14-2. Darien over Yorktown in New York 15-3. Trumbull 7-3 over Avon. Staples 7-2 over Fox Lane out of New York. St. Joe's beats Morgan 18-6. And Norwalk edges Ward 9-8. Girls lacrosse saw Ward top Norwalk 14-6. Stamford blank West Hill 14-0. And Darien doubled up Greenwich 20-10. Again, 4 o'clock baseball, 3:50 pregame, HANradio.com. With sports, John Kovac.
Thanks, John. Well, while the state struggles to address its budget problems, a recent round of cuts to social service programs has swept the legs out of one of Darien's most impactful youth programs and could spell further trouble for the depot moving forward. Hartford's latest round of emergency budget cuts calls for reduced funding to the state's 102 youth service bureaus and the elimination of related enhancement grants. A total of $1.3 million would be cut from the youth service bureaus in each of the next 2 years. Connecticut's youth service bureaus are community-based nonprofit organizations responsible for intervention, treatment, and follow-up services for local youth. Funding is provided through municipal, state, and private means, requiring regular fundraising to ensure that programs are provided for. There is a lot more on that story at DarienTimes.com.
Okay, 2 big events this weekend, in addition to that Ridgefield stroll, the spring stroll that starts tonight. Cancer Care will host its 3rd annual Walk Run for Hope Spectacular at Greenwich Point Park in Old Greenwich Sunday. It's a series of family-friendly 5K events raising funds to support Cancer Care's free professional services to anyone affected by cancer. Walkers and runners of all levels and ages are welcome. Registration begins at 7:45 Sunday morning. The event starts at 9 with a children's half-mile fun run, followed by the 5K at 9:15 a.m. The 5K course is USATF sanctioned. You can learn more and enter at cancercare.org/walkgreenwich. Registration fees are $40 for adults, $20 for children 12 and under, $10 for the fun run only. All participants receive a commemorative Walk Run for Hope t-shirt. And in Fairfield, the Greenfield Hills section, specifically, the 80th Dogwood Festival starts this weekend, lasts all weekend long. This was actually started by a comment in a magazine by Eleanor Roosevelt about how beautiful the dogwoods were in that section of Fairfield.
Oh, wow.
So if you're down that way, it's not far from the Merritt, right off of exit 44 Black Rock Turnpike, all weekend long, the Dogwood Festival. It's based at Greenfield Hill Congregational Church.
Great. Thanks, John. Well, there will be a lecture about the 70th anniversary of the end of World War II at the Fairfield Public Library on 1080 Old Post Road on Thursday, May 14th. Historian Mark Albertson will be speaking at 7 p.m. in the Rotary Room. On May 7th, 1945, 5 men affixed their signatures to a document of unconditional surrender in France. The end of the Third Reich not only ended the European calamity, but sowed the... Oh, sorry, we're missing a sentence there. Mark Albertson is the historical research editor at Army Aviation Magazine in Monroe and is both an author and professor of history at Norwalk Community College for lifetime learners. Advanced registration is required due to limited space. All programs at the Fairfield Public Library are free of charge. For more information and to register for this event, call 203-256-3160 or visit them at fairfieldpubliclibrary.org. Guys, I just want to mention, I just got sent a really cool photo of a bobcat in Trumbull, and I'm trying to send it over to AJ and see if we can put it up, but I'm working on that.
Okay. There's another VE anniversary event in Fairfield coming up, and that's on Sunday, 3 o'clock, commemoration of the 70th anniversary of VE Day. with a talk on the importance of oral history, memory, and legacy. That's by Eileen Hurst of the Veterans History Project at Central Connecticut State University. There will be dramatic readings of letters from Fairfield veterans and their families by advanced theater students from Greens Farms Academy. This is at the Fairfield Museum and History Center, fairfieldhistory.org, or 203-259-1598 for information on that VE commemoration. I can't believe it's the 70th anniversary. It seems to have come very quietly.
It was, like 50 was a big year, and it seems like every 5 or 10
20
anniversary, it's hadn't really gotten very much talk about 70.
Don, how about one last look at the roads and weather?
Okay, well, right now in New Haven, there are rescue crews on the way to a reported crash at Orange and Cold Spring Street, so you might want to avoid that area if at all possible. Then also Fairfield Parkway North at exit 42, road work there till 3, the right lane closed. Danbury 84 West at exit 7 till 3, the left lane closed. And Bridgeport 95 North at exit 27A, the right lane closed there until 3 o'clock. Mostly cloudy day today. Chance of some showers afternoon. Cloudy tonight, 41, and Saturday and Sunday for the weekend, mostly sunny both days. Chance of showers both days, and highs in the upper 60s both days. Right now it is 55 degrees and mostly cloudy outside our Shelton studio. 51 in Fairfield, 56 in Ridgefield. Coffee break time is 11:06.
Well, guys,
11:06. That's not even close to being accurate. What did I just say?
I was just going to go with it.
I don't even know what I was looking at.
Go with it. Well, you know how we love a good wild animal spotting?
And, like bears and bobcats?
And going through my Trumbull Times email, I got one of the better photos I've seen taken. This is just taken today by Bob Wesley. He just submitted it to the Trumbull Times, spotted this in his backyard, and he wonders if it's a bobcat or a lynx. What do you guys think?
It looks, I think...
It's a really great shot. If you're watching us live on the Hearst Acorn Network, you can see that right now. Yeah, I think
bobcats are far more common.
Right.
And again, it's another one that you never heard about being seen around here until recent years. I actually saw one deceased on the Merritt last year.
Yeah, that's terrible. But look, it's such a good shot. It's all kind of like scrunched up in the very cat-like pose.
Again? AJ?
I just was impressed with this photo because sometimes, we love getting photos submitted of wildlife spotting. Sometimes they're a little blurry. This one,
fairly
nice
clear.
Shot. Looking right at the camera, too, posing.
Yeah. Looks happy to be having his picture taken, too.
Well, I was looking here. So a bobcat is a medium-sized cat with long tufted ears and a short bob tail. Now, a lynx is, a medium-sized cat with long tufted ears and a short bob tail. So, yeah, they're very similar.
But I think, doesn't the lynx have longer, pointier ears?
Let's see here. They're separate species. They are very closely related also.
I mean, I've been hearing about a lot of bobcat sightings in this area. I mean, my family lives in Monroe, and they've been seeing them quite often. So I assume bobcat. I don't really hear about lynx sightings in the state.
Well, maybe people are seeing them. They just think they're bobcats.
It's true. Very true. Remember when we didn't have a mountain lion, but we did? But there's no mountain lions in the state.
Still on Twitter. Yeah, that one, I had trouble putting my arms around that one, to be honest with you.
That one was fun.
Just the state denial. There are no mountain lions.
Everything's fine. Don't worry about it.
And AJ thinks it's a lynx, just so you guys know.
Okay.
Good for you.
That's fine. One of us will be right. I'm okay with that.
Well, in other news... After placing first at the Connecticut Science Olympiad, Wiltonian Emma Buckland and 14 other Hopkins School students are going on to represent Connecticut at the 31st Annual Science Olympiad National Tournament at the University of Nebraska in Lincoln, Nebraska in May. The March 28th state competition at the University of Connecticut in Storrs involved a series of different STEM, that's science, technology, engineering, and math events, according to Emma. Emma said Hopkins students are given the option to sign up to participate in the Science Olympiad at the beginning of the school year, but signing up doesn't mean a guaranteed spot. She said there were about 80 people who signed up this year, and they have had to go through a whole application process. At the end of the application process, 60 students were selected to form 4 teams. While this was her first time participating in the Connecticut Science Olympiad, Emma said it was Hopkins' 7th first-place win. Before the Science Olympiad National Tournament on Saturday, May 16th, students have time to brush up on anything they may need to help them win a national title. According to the Science Olympiad website, the national competition will bring together 120 middle school and high school teams to participate in a rigorous hands-on lab events led by experts from government agencies, top universities, and Science Olympiad state chapters that cover topics in physics, astronomy, chemistry, meteorology, engineering, and more. So
that's quite a commute from Wilton to Hopkins.
Yes.
Yes.
Where is Hopkins, actually?
It's in New Haven.
Oh, okay.
And I also love the cutesy names that towns give themselves, Wiltonians.
Wiltonians.
Yes.
Yeah, I like that one. Ridgefielders, Wiltonians.
Guys, a story here, and we don't have a lot on it, but I want to get it out there, and that is in New London. New London High School has been on lockdown since 11:14 a.m. No further information is available on that. We'll be following that. We'll keep an eye on that as we go to Behind the News, which we're just about to. We're going to go Behind the News at noon, Radio Arts and Leisure at 1, FCAC Baseball at 4. For Kate Chaplinsky, Donald Dang, thanks for listening to Coffee Break and watching us on the Hersom Acorn Network.
Hersom Acorn and HANradio.com. The leader in local news, sports, arts, and entertainment in southwestern Connecticut.
Want to get in touch with HAN Radio? You can find us on Twitter at Hersom Radio, on Facebook at Hersom Acorn Radio, or email us at radio@hersomacorn.com.